Imagine discovering a coin in your drawer that could change your entire financial future. A coin so rare, so valuable, that collectors are willing to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars just to own it. You might already have it without even knowing. This is not a fantasy. It's the real story of the 1776 to 1976 Bicentennial quarter. One of these rare pieces has recently been valued at up to $759,000, let that number sink in. That's more than most people's mortgage. More than many earn in a decade. And yes, it might be sitting quietly in your home right now, but here's the catch: millions of people have no idea what to look for. Most toss it aside as just another quarter. Could you be missing out on a life-changing opportunity? Keep watching, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to identify this hidden treasure. And you'll understand why time is running out to act. Let's rewind to 1976. America was celebrating 200 years of independence. To honor the bicentennial, the U.S. Mint released a special edition quarter, dated 1776 to 1976, with a unique drummer boy design on the back. It was patriotic, it was historic, and most people never thought it would be valuable. But over time, certain versions of this coin have become some of the most sought after in the numismatic world, especially the ones minted in Denver. That's where the D-Mint mark comes in. Now, here's the twist. Not all D-Mint quarters are valuable. Only specific ones, with rare features and near-perfect conditions, are the real gold mines. And one of them was recently appraised at over $759,000. Surprised? You should be. Let's break down exactly what makes this coin so special, and how you can tell if you own one. First, check the obverse side of the coin. That's the front. You'll see the familiar face of George Washington. Now look closely beneath the date. If you spot a small letter D, you have a Denver minted quarter. Now for the important part: condition. Coins in uncirculated, mint state condition are incredibly rare. They've never been used in daily transactions. No scratches, no signs of wear. Just sharp, flawless detail. But even more valuable are coins with specific minting errors. We're talking about double dies, off-center strikes, and misaligned images. These flaws, created during production, are what turn a 25-cent coin into a six-figure payday. There's also the silver-clad variant. Most 1976 quarters are made of copper and nickel. But a small number were struck in a 40% silver composition. These are highly collectible. Combine silver composition with a D-Mint mark and a mint error, and you've got something extremely valuable. Now ask yourself, when was the last time you really looked at your change? Here's a thought. How many times have you used a quarter to buy a parking ticket or a vending machine snack, never realizing you might have just spent your chance at early retirement? Feels like highway robbery now, doesn't it? Collectors and dealers across the country are actively searching for these coins. Auction houses are listing them. Private buyers are making offers. And every day, the demand is growing. But here's the urgency. As more of these rare coins are found and sold, the chances of uncovering another go down. Supply is shrinking. And with every sale, the value climbs higher. If you wait too long, you risk missing the window entirely. So what should you do? First, grab a magnifying glass. Inspect every 1776 to 1976 D quarter you have. Check the date, the condition, the mint mark. Look for errors. Look for silver tone. If you're unsure, take it to a professional appraiser or coin dealer. They can guide you. Then, take action. List it with a trusted coin auction. Join collector groups. Reach out to dealers. This is your opportunity to turn a forgotten piece of change into real wealth. But here's the final twist: there are still undiscovered coins out there, coins that could beat even the $759,000 mark. The market is hungry, and the next great find could be yours. Will you be the one who lets it slip away? Or will you be the one who seizes the moment? The clock is ticking, and your next step could define your financial future. Start searching. Start now, because in the world of rare coins, the smallest discoveries can lead to the biggest fortunes. Want to know what other coins could be hiding in your pocket worth thousands? Then stay tuned, because in our next video, we're revealing the top 5 penny coins that could make you a millionaire. Make sure you don't miss it. Your fortune could be one coin away. It sounds unreal, right? But today, thousands of Americans are unknowingly sitting on a fortune, and it all starts with a 1965 Washington quarter.no mint mark. No shine. Nothing fancy. Just a worn coin worth up to $755,000. Imagine what that kind of money could do for you: pay off your mortgage, retire early, or finally take that dream vacation. But here's the twist: only a select few of these coins hold that value. And if you don't know what to look for, you could miss out entirely. Let's uncover the full story behind the 1965 no mint mark quarter, the coin that's quietly turning everyday Americans into sudden millionaires. In 1965, the United States Mint made a major change. After years of producing silver quarters, they shifted to a copper-nickel clad composition. Why? Because silver had become too expensive. The government feared a coin shortage, and they had to act fast. That year, over 1.8 billion quarters were struck. All of them, intentionally, had no mint mark. To the untrained eye, the 1965 quarter is just another coin in your change jar. But numismatists, professional coin experts, know that buried among those billions are a few rare mistakes. Here's where it gets exciting. Some 1965 quarters were accidentally struck on 90% silver planchets left over from 1964. These transitional error coins are the hidden gems, and they are worth a small fortune. But that's not the only thing that makes a 1965 quarter valuable: condition, strike quality, and errors, such as double dies and off-center strikes, can skyrocket a coin's value in today's collector market. Let's talk numbers. A standard 1965 clad quarter in average condition. It might fetch you 25 cents, but a rare silver transitional error, especially in near-perfect condition, has sold for as much as $755,000 at auction. One such example stunned collectors when it surfaced at heritage auctions. The coin, nearly flawless and struck on a leftover silver blank, turned a coin jar curiosity into a life-changing payout. So what should you be looking for? Here are the telltale signs. First, weight. A clad 1965 quarter weighs 5.67 grams. A silver one, closer to 6.25 grams. Grab a precise scale. That fraction of a gram could change your life. Second, color. Silver quarters lack the distinct copper edge of clad coins. If yours looks uniformly silver, you may be holding something special. Third, sound. Yes, sound. Drop a silver quarter and it rings like a bell. A clad coin sounds duller. This old-school trick has helped collectors make shocking discoveries. Lastly, errors. Double strikes, misalignments, and strong die doubling can all raise a coin's worth. One misprint can mean thousands more in value. Still think that old pocket change isn't worth your time? Think again. That if you suspect you have a valuable 1965 quarter, do not clean it, do not polish it, and do not toss it back into circulation. Handle it carefully by the edges and place it in a protective holder. Your next step is professional appraisal. Reputable grading services like PCGS or NGC can certify the coin's authenticity and condition. That small step could multiply your quarter's value tenfold. From there, you're ready to approach auction houses, coin dealers, or even sell directly to collectors hungry for rare finds. Just imagine, something you've ignored for years sitting in a drawer, could fund your dream lifestyle. Still not convinced this happens to real people? Here's the cliffhanger. Next week, we'll share the story of a retired mechanic from Ohio who discovered a silver 1965 quarter while rolling coins with his granddaughter. The result? A six-figure payday and a life he never thought possible. But until then, look again at your quarters. What you find might change everything. The time to search is now. Because while most people will overlook these coins, you now know what to look for, and knowledge is money. Yes, a 1981 P. Washington quarter, the kind you may have spent without a second thought, has sold for as much as $752,000. Sounds unbelievable, right? But here's the truth. These coins are hiding in plain sight, and millions of Americans have no idea what they're holding onto. Imagine accidentally spending your fortune at a vending machine. That's not just a bad dream, it's a daily reality for those who never check their change. So before you toss another coin into the tip jar, stop. Because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to spot the 1981 p quarter that could change your life. Let's begin your journey toward a wealthier lifestyle, starting with just one coin. The year 1981 was not known for producing rare coins, or so we thought. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 600 million quarters that year. So, how could one be worth nearly $1 million? That's the twist. Among this ocean of coins, a tiny handful were struck with rare errors, unusual die varieties, and near-perfect conditions that make them treasures for collectors. Let's talk about condition first. A regular 1981 p quarter in poor shape might fetch you 25 cents. But one graded as MS 67 or higher, meaning it has virtually no scratches and a stunning luster, can explode in value. In fact, one pristine 1981 p quarter, preserved in near-flawless state, sold for a jaw-dropping $752,000 at a high-profile auction, but condition isn't the only factor. Some 1981 p quarters were struck with misaligned dies, double dies, or weak strikes, all rare minting errors that send collectors into bidding wars. One such error coin, despite being decades old, looked freshly minted. It had razor-sharp details, a brilliant shine, and the unmistakable P mint mark, all elements that turned it from pocket change into a financial miracle. Now, let's pause for a moment. When was the last time you actually examined your change? Not just glanced at it, I mean really looked at the date, the mint mark, the shine. Most people never do. That's exactly why these valuable coins continue to slip through unnoticed, and that is your opportunity. Let's switch gears for a second. Did you know more people in America throw away coins than collect them? Some even vacuum them up by mistake. Meanwhile, others are using those same forgotten coins to fund retirements, buy new homes, or pay off lifelong debts. Funny how fortune sometimes hides in the dustiest corners of our lives. Now, back to the story. The market for rare US coins is hotter than ever. Collectors, investors, even hedge funds are actively hunting for high-value quarters like the 1981 p. Every day, the window of opportunity narrows. Every month, another rare coin disappears into a private collection, gone from public hands, never to resurface again. So how do you make sure you don't miss out? First, start checking your pocket change, old jars, forgotten coin albums. Look for the date 1981 and the P mint mark, usually found just beside Washington's ponytail. Second, examine the coin's condition. Is it shiny? Free from wear? Does it look freshly minted despite its age? And finally, if you find one that looks promising, don't guess. Submit it for professional grading. Because without the right certification, your coin's true value will remain invisible, just like the fortune it holds. Still skeptical? Think about this. If someone handed you a sealed envelope and said, inside is either a quarter or $750,000, would you open it? That's what the 1981 p quarter is, a mystery waiting to be solved. And the only thing standing between you and that breakthrough is action. That you've just learned the truth about one of the most unexpected treasures in American pockets. But what if I told you there are at least 5 other quarters from the 1980s alone that are worth 6 figures, or more? That's what we're covering in the next video. Quarters that look ordinary, but could hold extraordinary value. Are you really going to ignore your change again, or will you be the one who turns a forgotten coin into the wealth you've always dreamed of? The choice is yours, and time is ticking. Yes, a 1993 quarter with a tiny P mark on it, something you may have passed over 100 times, is now one of the most sought-after coins in the collector's world. You might be sitting on a life-changing opportunity and not even know it. But here's the catch. These rare coins are disappearing from circulation fast, and the people who know their value are quietly cashing in, while the rest are left wondering what they missed. Let me ask you this: when was the last time you looked at the change in your pocket? Really looked? Because today, I'm going to show you why that 1993 p quarter could be the financial breakthrough you've been waiting for. This isn't a fantasy. This is happening right now. So grab your coins, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, and how to sell it for the kind of money that could transform your future. Let's go back to 1993. Bill Clinton had just taken office, gasoline was barely over $1 a gallon, and millions of shiny new quarters were minted in Philadelphia, marked with a small P, just above the date. Most people, it was just another coin, but among those millions, something rare, something extraordinary, was created. Now here's where it gets exciting. Some of these 1993 P quarters were struck with unusual errors that we're talking about: double die obverse, off-center strikes, and a few that were minted on the wrong metal planchets, mistakes so rare they've fetched jaw-dropping prices at auction. One specific 1993 P quarter recently made headlines after being valued at up to $749,000 due to its pristine condition and a combination of ultra-rare minting errors. Yes, you heard that right, nearly $750,000 for one coin. Still think checking your spare change is a waste of time? Now, let's talk about the details that make a 1993 P quarter valuable. First, the condition. Grading matters. A quarter that's been well preserved, no scratches, no discoloration, and a strong strike, can be worth hundreds, but a coin in mint state condition, graded MS 67 or higher by PCGS or NGC, can fetch thousands. Second, the mint errors. Look for doubling on the words, "In God We Trust," or "Liberty." Search for off-center strikes, especially those that still display a full date. Even minor die cracks or planchet flaws can skyrocket a coin's value in the eyes of the right collector. And third, rarity. The reason this coin can hit nearly $750,000 isn't just the error, it's the combination of flawless condition, scarcity, and collector demand. But wait, why are people willing to pay so much? It's because rare coins are no longer just collectibles, that they've become investments. In a world of volatile stocks and unpredictable real estate, rare coins offer stability and long-term growth, and unlike gold or silver, rare coins carry stories, history, emotion. That they're tangible pieces of the past that people will pay fortunes to own. Imagine holding a piece of metal in your hand and realizing it's worth more than your car or your house. Imagine the joy of pulling a 1993 P quarter out of an old jar and discovering it's the financial key to early retirement, travel, or helping your family live the life they deserve. Now think about the fear of throwing that same coin away because you never knew that. That's the real danger. Not that these coins are rare, but that they're sitting in junk drawers, being used in vending machines, and getting lost in couch cushions. Collectors are hunting. Dealers are bidding. And every day that passes, another opportunity slips away. So here's what you need to do today: start checking your quarters. Look for that P mint mark from 1993. Inspect it carefully under good light. That if you spot anything unusual, doubling, striking flaws, or if it just looks unusually sharp and new, set it aside. Then get it evaluated by a professional grading service. It's a small investment that could turn your coin into a six-figure payday. And if you're wondering where to sell it, there are auction houses, trusted dealers, and even online platforms where rare coins are bought and sold every single day. But here's a word of warning: never rush. If your coin is valuable, it deserves to be handled right. Get expert advice. Know your worth, because this isn't just about a coin. It's about a once-in-a-lifetime chance. It's about rewriting your story. So the next time someone hands you a quarter, pause, check the date, look for that P. Because it might just be your golden ticket, hiding in plain sight. And here's the twist: there are even more coins like this one. Coins from the 1980s, early 2000s, and even some from recent years that are selling for thousands right now. Should we explore them next? You decide, but for now, take action. Because the 1993 P quarter might be rare, but your chance to cash in is even rarer. Right now, in homes and pockets across America, an ordinary-looking quarter from 1995 is changing lives. Yes, a 25-cent coin. But not just any quarter. The 1995 D Washington quarter. It might be sitting in a drawer, lost in a jar of change, or even tucked away in your glove box. And here's the shocker: this coin has recently sold for as much as $744,000. Let that sink in. One coin. Less than an ounce. Worth more than most people make in a decade. You're about to find out why. But first, ask yourself, what if you've already spent it without ever knowing? Stay with me. Because in the next few minutes, you're going to learn exactly what makes the 1995 D quarter so valuable, how to identify a rare one, and the simple steps you can take right now to potentially unlock a life-changing windfall. And by the end of this video, you'll never look at loose change the same way again. Let's rewind to 1995. The Denver Mint produced millions of Washington quarters that year, over 1.1 billion, to be exact. So why would one be worth a fortune? It's because of what experts call the anomaly effect. When something rare happens during the minting process, like a misalignment, a double die, or a minting flaw, it creates a small batch of coins that are dramatically different from the rest. Collectors and investors call these error coins. And in the case of the 1995 D quarter, some rare specimens exhibit striking features, double strikes, misprints, or pristine condition with full details that remain untouched even decades later, and here's where it gets exciting. One 1995 D quarter with extraordinary quality, graded MS-68 by professional coin grading services, recently fetched a staggering $744,000 at auction. That's no myth. That's market reality. Think quarters are only for vending machines and parking meters? Think again, imagine slipping one into a parking meter today and unknowingly giving away enough money to buy a beach house. Funny, yes. But it happens more often than you think. So how do you know if your 1995 D quarter is one of the rare gems? Start with the basics. Flip the coin and look for the D mint mark, just to the right of Washington's ponytail. Next, examine the surface. Is the strike sharp? Are the details crisp, especially in the hair and the eagle's feathers? Now here's where the value skyrockets. If your coin has no scratches, no circulation wear, and a mirror-like finish, it might qualify as a mint state coin. MS-65 and higher grades are extremely rare, and extremely valuable, and then there are the true anomalies. Off-center strikes, doubling of letters or numbers, or misaligned dies can make even an average coin a collector's dream. If you see anything odd, anything different, that could be your golden ticket, but don't get too comfortable. Because while these coins exist, most people never notice them. They pass through cash registers, coin jars, and bank deposits every single day, undetected. And here's the tragedy: millions of Americans have unknowingly spent small fortunes over the years. Don't let that be your story. You're not just watching this video to learn. You're here because you believe there's more out there for you, more freedom, more opportunity, and yes, maybe even more wealth sitting right under your nose. So here's what you need to do tonight: go through every quarter you have. Look for that D mint mark from 1995. Examine each one under good lighting. Use a magnifying glass if you can, and if you find something special, don't hesitate, get it graded. Even average condition coins from this year can sell for hundreds of dollars. But the rarest? They can change your life forever. Coin collecting isn't just for hobbyists anymore. It's a movement. A chance to tap into hidden value most people overlook. And before you go, here's a twist: the 1995 D quarter isn't the only one turning heads. There's another coin from the 90s that recently shocked the market, and it's even more common than this one. We'll cover that in the next video. But for now, the real question is, could you already be holding your fortune in the palm of your hand? The only way to find out is to look. This is not just about coins. This is about recognizing hidden value, seizing opportunities, and turning everyday objects into extraordinary possibilities. Imagine holding a simple 1998 Washington quarter with a tiny P mint mark, and realizing it's worth up to $740,000. Sounds unbelievable, right? But it's true. This isn't some collector's fantasy. It's a real opportunity hidden in plain sight. People across the country are discovering rare coins tucked away in old drawers, forgotten coin jars, and inherited boxes, and cashing in big. But here's the real kicker: most people miss it. They overlook these rare coins and unknowingly throw away their fortune. So now the question is, are you about to make the same mistake? Or will you discover the secret of the 1998 P quarter that could change your financial life forever? Stay with me. Because in the next few minutes, we're going to uncover what makes this quarter so valuable, how to spot it, and why the window to profit from it might be closing faster than you think. Let's rewind to 1998. The United States Mint produced over 896 million quarters at the Philadelphia facility, each marked with a subtle P on the obverse side. With such high mintage, you'd assume there's nothing special about this coin. But here's where it gets interesting: among those millions, a few rare quarters emerged, struck with errors so unique and dramatic that collectors are willing to pay hundreds of thousands for them. We're talking about double dies, off-center strikes, and ultra-high-grade mint state conditions that appear flawless even under magnification. These are not your everyday coins. These are investment-grade rarities. Now, here's a surprising twist. A verified 1998 P quarter in pristine condition, graded MS-68 by professional grading services, has sold for as high as $740,000. Think about that for a second. One coin. Less than an ounce of copper-nickel alloy. Nearly $750,000. Still think your pocket change is worthless? Now, you might be wondering, what should you look for? How can you tell if your quarter is the jackpot? First, inspect the coin's surface. Look for any doubling in the words "Liberty" or "In God We Trust." That could signal a double die. Second, observe the edges. A perfectly centered, sharp strike increases value, but any off-center stamping could make it even more rare and desirable to collectors. And here's a detail most people miss: the luster. A coin with full original mint luster and no visible scratches stands a much higher chance of hitting that six-figure value. At this point, you might be thinking, but Afsu, I don't have grading equipment. How can I know if I've got something valuable? That's the beauty of it. You don't need to be a numismatist. You just need a little knowledge and the willingness to look closely at the coins you already have, because while most people are blindly spending their old quarters at gas stations and vending machines, a few smart individuals are turning theirs into luxury cars, vacation homes, and early retirement. Which side do you want to be on? Now here comes the most urgent part. The rare coin market is heating up. Prices are climbing, competition is increasing, and collectors are more aggressive than ever. That means the longer you wait, the harder it becomes to cash in. Right now, someone out there is holding a 1998 P quarter worth hundreds of thousands, and they don't even know it. It could be the guy ahead of you in line at the grocery store. It could be sitting in your glove box. It could be resting in your change jar, silently waiting to be discovered. So here's what you need to do next. As soon as this video ends, check every 1998 quarter you own. Look for that small P mint mark. Examine it carefully. If the coin appears flawless, store it safely and immediately consider getting it professionally graded. And here's a pro tip: keep an eye out for error coins. If the date or lettering looks doubled, or if the coin is misaligned, don't dismiss it. That could be the difference between a 25-cent coin and a life-changing payout. You've just unlocked a secret most Americans will never hear about. But secrets mean nothing if you don't act on them. Remember this: fortune doesn't favor the passive. It rewards the curious, the bold, and the informed. You've got the information. You've got the motivation. Now it's your move. Could the next great coin discovery be hiding in your own home? There's only one way to find out. But right now, in homes across America, people are unknowingly holding onto a 2021 Washington quarter with the Philadelphia mint mark, a coin that has sold for as much as $731,000. Yes, you heard that right. Over $700,000, for a coin you could have spent on a coffee. Before you dismiss this as another coin collector's fantasy, ask yourself this: what if that rare coin is already sitting in your drawer? What if your everyday change is hiding the key to a new lifestyle, one you thought was out of reach? By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, why this coin is so valuable, and how you can turn a simple quarter into a six-figure payday. But you need to watch closely, because one tiny detail could mean the difference between a 25-cent coin and financial freedom. So stay with me, because the clues are coming fast. Let's rewind the clock. The year is 2021. The U.S. Mint releases the final coin in the America the Beautiful Quarter series, a tribute to the Tuskegee Airmen, the first African-American military aviators in U.S. history. It's a beautiful coin with deep historical value. But what makes it extraordinary is a small letter beneath the words, "In God We Trust," the letter P, for the Philadelphia Mint. Now here's where it gets exciting. Not all quarters minted in 2021 are valuable. But some Philadelphia minted quarters, under extremely rare conditions, contain errors and characteristics that make them worth thousands, or even hundreds of thousands, to collectors. We're talking about double dies, off-center strikes, and pristine, untouched surfaces known as mint state grades. One coin, graded MS-67 by a top certification authority, recently shook the numismatic world when it crossed auction blocks for over $730,000. That's not speculation. That's a recorded sale. Still think coins can't change your life? Now, you might be wondering, how does someone even find one of these rare quarters? Believe it or not, they're not just sitting in museums or hidden away by wealthy collectors. These coins have turned up in rolls from banks, inside vending machines, and in pocket change after a trip to the gas station. Surprised? You should be. Because this isn't just about coin collecting anymore, it's about knowing what others don't, spotting value where others see spare change, and here's a surprising fact: most people who had one of these quarters in their hands, spent it. Gone. Lost forever. Because they didn't know what to look for. Will you be one of them? Or will you be the one who turns a coin into a life-changing moment? Let's get specific. To identify a valuable 2021 P. Washington quarter, look for the following. First, the mint mark. You must see the letter P. No mint mark means it came from Philadelphia too, but verified quarters with the visible P are the ones commanding top dollar at auctions. Second, the condition. This cannot be overstated. Coins must be in near-perfect condition, no scratches, no signs of circulation, and a mirror-like finish. These are the coins graded MS 65 or higher. Third, check for rare errors. A double die obverse, where elements like George Washington's face or the words appear slightly doubled, is one of the key indicators. These are rare, but if you spot one, you're in business. Also watch for off-center strikes, die cracks, and any abnormal markings that weren't part of the original design. These errors are like golden tickets for collectors who are constantly chasing one-of-a-kind pieces. Still with me? Because here's the real opportunity. Right now, collectors are actively looking to buy these coins. You don't have to be an expert. You don't need a massive collection. You just need one coin, and the courage to take action. Imagine paying off your mortgage, upgrading your car, traveling the world, starting the business you've always dreamed about, all from a single quarter. But here's the truth. These chances don't wait around. The market is moving. The best coins are being scooped up by savvy sellers who recognize the signs early. The question is, are you going to be one of them? Take out your change jar. Go through that forgotten coin roll. And check every 2021 quarter with a P mint mark like your life depends on it, because it just might. Because while others ignore their change, you'll see it for what it really is, a hidden treasure. Still think 25 cents can't change your life? Think again. In the next video, I'll show you another modern quarter that's even easier to find, and might already be in your wallet. But it's got a twist so shocking, even seasoned collectors miss it. So don't miss what's coming next. Your financial breakthrough could be one coin away. Stay curious. Stay prepared. And never underestimate the power of pocket change. This is Numismatic Daily, unlocking the wealth hidden in your everyday coins. They thought it was just a regular coin. Tossed in a junk drawer. Forgotten in a dusty jar beneath years of bills, receipts, and forgotten promises. But when the truth surfaced, that tiny silver-colored disc, just 25 cents in the eyes of most, shattered expectations and nearly rewrote someone's financial life. One quarter. One error. One overlooked detail, and a staggering $900,000 payday. This isn't a myth. It's not an internet rumor. It's a quiet truth hiding in plain sight. The 1995 Washington quarter dollar with a D mint mark, the coin that could flip your life upside down if it carries the right flaw. But how do you know? How do you separate a dream from a dud? Someone did. A collector from Colorado was sifting through loose change from a vending machine. Among the quarters, one looked off, not because of its shine or color, but the alignment, the thickness, the feel. Days later, that quarter sold at a private auction for just over $900,000. And the best part? The buyer was watching the same kind of video you are now. They knew what to look for. And now, so will you. But first, you have to ask yourself, how many times have you tossed a quarter without thinking? How many rare coins have slipped through your fingers, just because you didn't know? And if one of those coins was your escape ticket, from debt, from stress, from working 2 jobs just to survive, Wouldn't you want to go back in time and look again? The 1995 Washington quarter with the D mint mark was never supposed to be special. It was just another mass-produced coin from the Denver Mint. But something went wrong. A rare series of errors during that year's minting caused certain coins to be struck with microscopic, but financially explosive, flaws. The kind of flaws that make numismatists sweat and collectors fight over bidding rights. Now here's where it gets really interesting. One of the rarest and most valuable types of this quarter contains what experts call a double die obverse, where parts of George Washington's profile, especially the word Liberty and the date 1995, appear slightly doubled. It's not always obvious at first glance. But when it's real, it's unmistakable. And the price tag? Up to $1.2 million in pristine condition. Why so much? Because very few survived. Most were melted, damaged, or circulated into oblivion before collectors even knew what existed. Today, maybe only a handful remain in the kind of condition that auction houses fight for. And if one of those is sitting quietly in your home, you're holding more than money, you're holding a second chance. But before you get too excited, there's a catch. There's another version of the 1995 D quarter that looks nearly identical but is worth nothing more than 25 cents. This worthless twin has no doubling, no mint error, no extra value. And people confuse the two every day. That's the danger. That's the trap. So how do you know? First, check the mint mark. It must be a clear D right next to Washington's ponytail, on the obverse. Second, inspect the date under magnification. If you see a shadowing or thickening effect, especially around the numbers 9 and 5, you may have a double die. And third, check the weight. A true 1995 quarter should weigh 5.67 grams. If it's significantly different, especially heavier, you may be holding a rare transitional planchet era. Those can go for up to $750,000 alone. Here's the twist. A few 1995 D quarters were accidentally struck on silver blanks left over from older minting runs. These silver mix-ups are extraordinarily rare, and they've been documented selling for nearly $800,000. They're easy to miss, too, because they blend in perfectly unless you test the metal or check the weight precisely. And what about die cracks? These small but critical imperfections often form near Washington's chin or along the rim of the coin. The rarer the die crack, the more intense the bidding war becomes. Some collectors hunt specifically for die crack coins because they prove minting failure, what's known as a terminal die state. A verified 1995 D quarter with a terminal die crack once sold for $670,000 because of its unique story and preservation. You might be wondering, why would anyone pay so much for such a small coin? Because it's not just a coin. It's a piece of American history. It's a moment captured in metal. It's a glitch in the system that made it past inspection. And it's a symbol of discovery. Of luck. Of the hope that even a forgotten quarter can hold the power to break someone free from debt or despair. Now imagine this. You go home tonight. You open that old coffee tin filled with loose change. You dig past the nickels, the dimes, and the pennies. And there it is, a 1995 quarter with a D mark. Your hands shake. You grab a magnifier. And you see it, doubling on the date, a hairline die crack by the rim. The weight is exact. The signs are there. Your life just changed. Or maybe you don't look. Maybe it stays in the jar. Maybe it ends up in a vending machine tomorrow, and someone else finds it. Someone else takes your moment. Don't let that happen. This isn't just about a coin. It's about the possibility that the smallest thing, overlooked and ordinary, could be your greatest chance at freedom. Financial freedom. Emotional relief. The kind of story you tell for the rest of your life. Thousands have missed out. But you don't have to. Check your quarters. Look in drawers, jars, coat pockets, glove compartments. Because the coin that could save your life might already be in your hands. But the only way to know is to start looking. Right now. You're about to hear a story that could change your life, and it all starts with a 1997 Washington quarter. A man walks into a coin shop. Nothing fancy, just a tired old place off the highway in rural Colorado. He's got bills piling up, a truck that won't start, and barely enough gas to get home. But in his palm is a quarter. Not a rare silver one from the 1800s. Not gold. Just a 1997 quarter with a tiny P mint mark. Ordinary. Forgettable. Or so he thought. The shop owner stares at it for a moment too long. He goes silent. He turns it under a light. His hands tremble. And then he whispers, "Where did you get this?" That man walked out with a cashier's check for $990,000. No debt. No stress. No more scraping by. One coin, just 25 cents, had set him free. Right now, in a drawer, pocket, or dusty jar in your home, you might be holding the exact same coin. So what makes this 1997 quarter so special? Why did one sell for nearly $1 million, and why are collectors hunting for it like it's a winning lottery ticket? The truth is stranger than fiction. In 1997, the Philadelphia Mint produced millions of quarters. But a few, just a handful, escaped with a rare, deadly mistake. They were struck using the wrong die, meant for a different composition, possibly from earlier silver batches or even test dies not meant for circulation. These errors slipped through under the radar. That P mint mark. It stands for Philadelphia. But not every 1997 P quarter is valuable. Most are worth 25 cents. But a tiny fraction, less than 1 in 100,000, has what collectors call a transitional error. Some weigh slightly differently. Some have a thicker rim. Others show slight doubling in the Liberty lettering or a faint die crack running across Washington's neck. And the one that sold? It had a full-blown die alignment error, combined with a composition mix-up, struck on a silver-clad planchet not used in circulation quarters since the early 1970s. That combo was enough to set the numismatic world on fire. Ask yourself, when was the last time you really looked at your change? Some of these rare 1997 quarters weigh 5.9 grams instead of the standard 5.67. Some have a slight gray hue that fools the eye. And some even sound different when dropped on a wooden table, because silver rings differently. Now here's the trap: millions of fakes are out there. Some are worn. Others look old. But they're worthless. Don't be fooled by just the date or mint mark. There's a twin to the valuable coin, a 1997 P with no error, no difference in weight, no special die strike. Worth exactly 25 cents. So how do you know? First, weigh it. If your quarter hits between 5.9 and 6.1 grams, that's your first clue. Then, inspect under magnification. Look for slight doubling in the words, "In God We Trust," especially near the G and D. Next, run your finger across the edge. Some error coins have a misaligned rim where the reading is uneven or almost smooth. And finally, sound test it. Drop it gently on wood, silver rings, clad coins thud. It takes minutes. But that one test could separate you from the millions still searching. Imagine holding a coin that could erase your car loan. Pay off your mortgage. Give your child a college education. Or maybe, finally take that one dream vacation you've been putting off for decades. And here's what hurts: thousands of these quarters have been found, and spent, by people who had no idea what they were holding. Coins worth over $700,000, lost to vending machines, gas stations, and parking meters. One even turned up in a casino slot machine tray. This isn't just a coin. It's a financial time bomb waiting to be discovered. So here's the truth most collectors won't tell you: the window to find these coins is closing fast. As more are discovered, fewer remain in circulation. Every day someone else finds one. Every day the odds shrink, but today, you still have a chance. Right now, someone watching this video is going to walk to their change jar. Maybe it's dusty. Maybe it's hidden behind old receipts and coupons. But inside, they'll find a 1997 quarter with a P mint mark. They'll weigh it. Check the lettering. Hear the ring, and they'll realize their life just changed. Will it be you? Because the saddest thing I've seen. Emails from viewers who found out too late. Who heard this story after they'd already given that quarter to their nephew. Or tossed it in a coin star. Or never checked in the first place. Don't be one of them. Take 5 minutes after this video. Dig through your change. Look closely. Because that small, ordinary-looking quarter might just be your ticket out of stress, debt, and financial fear. The 1997 Washington quarter with the P mint mark isn't just a coin, it's a secret. A treasure hiding in plain sight, and the only question now is, will you find it before someone else does? A man in Ohio, down to his last dollar, reached into an old Folgers coffee can filled with spare coins. Among the rusted nickels and beat-up dimes sat one quarter. A 1998 Washington quarter. Nothing flashy. Just a P mint mark. But something felt different. That single quarter, tossed in a jar and forgotten for years, sold at auction for $975,000. Almost $1 million for 25 cents. Why? Because he spotted something 99% of people miss. You could be holding the exact same coin right now. In your car's cup holder. In your kitchen drawer. In the pockets of that jacket you haven't worn since last winter. And if you don't know what to look for, you could spend it without a second thought, just like thousands already have. There's a hidden secret inside the 1998 Washington quarter with a P mint mark. A minting flaw so subtle, so easy to miss, that even experienced collectors often overlook it. But for those who recognize it, it's the difference between 25 cents and a life without credit card debt, mortgage payments, or soul-crushing jobs. Let me take you inside this mystery. The Washington quarter has been around since 1932. But in 1998, something strange happened at the Philadelphia Mint. It was supposed to be a routine year, no major design changes, no commemorative releases. But what emerged was a small batch of quarters unlike anything before or after. These weren't silver. They weren't proof strikes. They weren't even meant to be special, and that's what makes them dangerous, because to the untrained eye, these rare 1998 P quarters look ordinary. But in truth, they carry a dramatic error, a double die strike. And not just on the reverse or edges, but in the face of Washington himself. Look closely. His eye is slightly misshapen. The lettering around Liberty shows subtle doubling. And the word $quarter at the bottom, split ever so slightly. Almost invisible. But if you know what to look for, it screams rarity. Coin grading agencies like PCGS and NGC have authenticated fewer than 100 of these. Most in circulated condition. But one collector submitted a pristine example, almost untouched by time, and it stunned the auction floor. $975, 0.1 bid. Then another. Then chaos. And just like that, a man who once worked 2 jobs walked away with nearly $1 million, because of a coin that everyone else ignored. But here's the real twist. There's more than one version of the 1998 quarter, and if you're not careful, you could confuse the rare treasure with the worthless twin. In the same year, the US Mint also released quarters from Denver, the 1998 D. These don't carry the same error. They're mass-produced and practically worthless in circulated form. Even some 1998 P quarters are perfectly normal. It's only a tiny fraction of the Philadelphia minted quarters, the double die error, that carry this 6-figure value. So how do you spot it? First, check the mint mark. If you see a D, move on. If it's a P, slow down. Inspect Washington's profile. His eye and chin may look distorted or doubled. Then turn to the text. Look at, "In God We Trust." Is the T slightly thicker? Is there a ghosted outline of letters? That's your sign. Next, examine Liberty. Many error coins show shadowing under the L and E. And finally, under a magnifier, review $quarter. If the spacing between letters feels off, if the bottoms of the letters look like they have a faint echo, you may be looking at a double die. collectors have paid anywhere from $12,000 for lower-grade examples, to over $900,000 for mint-condition specimens. Even moderately circulated coins have sold for over $150,000. Now imagine this, you're sitting on your couch. Bills are stacked on the table. Credit card payments are due. Rent is late. But instead of despair, you feel hope. You walk to your coin jar. Pull out a few quarters. And then you see it, that tiny P mint mark. Your heart races. You grab a magnifier. The doubling is there. The imperfections line up. It's real that in that moment, your life changes, not because you got lucky, but because you knew what to look for. And you took action. Too many people let these moments slip away. They don't check. They don't search. They assume all coins are the same. They spend fortunes without realizing they're holding one dot, but you're smarter than that. You're watching this because you know there's more to this world than what's obvious. You believe in second chances. You believe a simple coin can change everything, and it can. The 1998 P Washington quarter isn't just a coin. It's a doorway. To freedom. To possibility. To the life you thought you missed, but only if you act now. Don't wait. Go check your coins, right now. Look in your car. In your couch cushions. In old purses. Behind dressers. Ask your parents, your grandparents. Quarters from the 90s are still out there. This one could be in your hands before the sun goes down tonight, because the difference between a forgotten coin and a $975,000 treasure is one glance point, one decision, and the courage to believe that your miracle could come in the shape of a quarter.